Hey, what up, good people? I am MsEbonyVee. Welcome back or to my channel. So today's video is going to be how I did these Boho Goddess braids, box braids on myself for my recent vacation to Mexico. So if you want to see how I achieved this look, then you know what to do. Just keep on watching, sis. So I started off by blow drying my freshly washed hair. As you can see, I've already blow dried one side, and now I'm going to go ahead and blow dry the other side using my Revlon blow drying brush that I absolutely love. You all should already be aware of this brush. All the products that you see me use in this video will be linked in the description box below, so feel free to check it out if it's something you're interested in. So once I got this section completely blow dried, I went ahead and twisted it up and blow dried that front portion as well. And then I just combed it all out so that I can begin separating my hair into two halves, front and back. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to use a lot of heat on their hair, to include myself. So I don't really blow dry my hair often, except when I'm doing, a protective type of style like this. I need my hair to be as straight as possible because, I have that good 4C hair, honey. So it curls up real nice and tight. So I need it to be very straight. So now I'm just going to twist up each of these two sections to make sure that my hair stays in a stretched state. And y'all know, if you watched me before, I don't like to do everything in one day. So this was just me doing the blow drying portion, and I twisted this hair up and I went to bed. And then, we started again the next day. So the hair I'm going to be using for these braids is this Model Everclear pre-stretched braiding hair. As you can see, it does have 3 bundles with the feathered ends. It is 40 inches, but with a 20-inch finish. My favorite part is that it's pre-rinsed, y'all, with vinegar. Like, hello, it's clean. For the curly part of the hair, I started out using this Made Beauty Lusty Water Wave hair in 18 inches. Not the best hair. I mean, this hair started getting real frizzy and tangled. I was like, oh no, I'm not about to deal with this hair. So I switched to the Free Tress Deep Twist hair in 14 inches, and I do have it in the color 1B. This hair was so much more easier to work with. It just glided apart, and each strand I did break into about 4 pieces. So yeah, this hair was much better than that Made Beauty hair. So let's go ahead and get into this braiding portion. I already completed the back half, y'all, because it was just a little challenging trying to show you what I was doing from the back. Now I'm going to insert a little clip of how I actually did do this. I was braiding, and as you can see behind me is my little 3-way mirror that saved my life. Oh my goodness, that little 3-way mirror I've used in another video before. I will link it down below. Anytime you need to see the back of your head, it works wonders, honey. But it was just very difficult trying to show you what I was doing in the back of my head. So I was like, let me just do the back, and we're going to focus on the front. I'll show you what I'm doing in the front. So right now I'm going to focus on getting my middle part straight. So of course I have to take my hair loose. And for this video, I'm using this Shine and Jam Edge Magic. This is my first time using this product. I usually use the Let's Jam Extra Hold, but I actually like this product a lot better. This is some serious hold right here. This is the business. This is going to be my new product right here. It really does keep everything nice and sleek. Now that I got my middle part straightened, of course, I'm only going to work on one section at a time. So I'm going to twist this side back up so that I can work on the other side. So as you can tell from the back, I knew I wanted large box braids. So in the front, I was trying to figure out if I was going to do 3 rows or 4 rows. Yeah, it was a little challenge for me, but I ended up going with 4. I just felt like, I could still get larger braids even if I go with 4 rows. So I went with that. Now, the reason I decided to go with larger box braids is because, look here, I don't have time to be braiding all day. I mean, it already took me forever to get this done. So I was trying to shortcut this as much as possible by doing larger braids. So as you can see, for each braiding section, I applied a generous amount of that Edge Magic all over my hair strand because, again, I have that 4C hair, and I was trying to make sure my hair, maintain some type of straightness so that it helps with the braiding process. And then I'm just going to add a rubber band. This is the rubber band method, of course, as you saw in the thumbnail and title. And so it just makes it easier, especially for beginners. If you're not if you don't have a good grip like me, I can braid all day, but honey, my grip is terrible. So this rubber band method, it really helps, you know, you have a nice seamless box braid where it looks nice and taut. Now, when I'm doing this rubber band though, my rubber band is real loose, as you can see. I do not do a tight rubber band. And so the reason for that is as I'm crocheting the hair in, I start with a downward motion. The crochet hook is going down. And then I just pull one side of that hair out, make sure that it's even. And then the second time I go across. And the reason I do that is to try to get as much of that rubber band covered as possible. And then now is the time to go ahead and squeeze it tight, not too tight, but you know, tight to make it a good hold. So now this becomes one leg of a three-legged braid. This is the one leg, and now I'm going to add 2 more strands of that crochet hair because all of my crochet pieces are the same small size, so that I can just grab 1 or 2 if necessary. So I just use 2 for that second and third leg, and then just begin braiding around the top of that rubber band so that you do not see the rubber band. And then, of course, I'm just going to braid it all the way down, keeping in mind that my hair is, you know, it curls up a little bit. So from time to time, I may have to add some of that edge magic to the ends of my hair to make sure that it stays straight within that braid. We don't want any curly hairs poking out of the braid. Once I get close to the end of the braid, I create myself a knot by grabbing a tiny piece of that hair, wrapping it around my thumb, and pulling it through a loop to create a knot. And I just repeat that 2 times to create a little mini knot so that the braid does not unravel or come loose. So now we're going to repeat this by taking that crochet needle and going downward in the box of the box braid where that rubber band is very loose. And then we're going to take that crochet needle and go across with the hair as well. Make sure the hair strands are even, and then we're gonna go ahead and tighten my hair in that rubber band to make it taut against my head, but not too tight. Once again, the hair strand should be covering all sides of that rubber band, and then I'm just gonna grab 2 more of those pieces as one and begin braiding that one piece as the 2 legs onto the 3rd leg already there. Now, I always put out this disclaimer, I am no professional braider, okay? I just know how to make things work, okay? That is it. And I feel like this is such an easy method and process to make it work and still look good and decent. You ain't gonna get no braiding perfection over here because I'm no braiding perfector, but you're going to get some nice and neat box braids if you just follow these simple steps. And now we're just going to create another knot by taking a tiny strand of the hair, placing that thumb on the braid, wrapping it around and pulling it through the loop 2 times. Very easy, very simple. So I finished this one side and went ahead and tied it up so I can get it out the way and begin working on the other side. So I'm basically repeating the same steps I did on the other side. I'm going a little different in formation. I'm just splitting the hair in half first and then splitting those 2 halves into halves.
Done this before you fall. I won't catch you, don't know I'm stalling. Cause you love to have them all crying. Calling me sweet, telling me you need me. But I'm from a city that's high school.
So again, once I get the hair section off, I am applying a generous amount of that edge gel to my roots and the strands of my hair. Because I have super curly 4C hair, and I am not applying that rubber band very tight. I think I count like 4 times for each rubber band just to make sure it's not tight and to make sure that it doesn't pop. Again, for the crochet portion, I am pointing that needle down for the first piece of hair. And again, I'm using very small pieces. The next strand of hair, I'm going to go sideways so that I am covering the entire rubber band, or the circumference of the rubber band, so to speak. Then I'm going to tighten my hair into that rubber band and then take 2 strands of hair and begin braiding on that third leg that's already crocheted. So that's basically the easy process for doing these types of braids with the crochet method. Again, especially if you don't have no good grip like me, honey, my grip is terrible. I got this old good carpal tunnel in my hand, so I had to break this little braiding process up. For a time reference, I did do the back half the night prior, and it took me about 4 hours to do the braids, dip the hair, and add the curly hair. So as you see now, I'm just doing my little knot again, wrapping that around my thumb and pulling through the loop to create myself a knot so that the braid does not come loose. Now that I have all the braids added to the front, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this Scalp Bliss, this itch calming serum that I absolutely love. I have super itchy scalp, y'all. Like, my scalp it's just always itchy. And so this really did keep my scalp from itching as much. It helped a heck of a lot. It also felt really good on my scalp, and it gave that cooling sensation, like that menthol pepperminty cooling sensation, which is always nice as well. So now I'm going to dip the braids into some hot water. I like to do this before adding the curly hair because I don't want to dip the braids with the curly hair already attached. So it's best to just go ahead and get the dipping out the way now. And of course, the purpose of dipping the braids into hot water is so that the braids are not so stiff with no movement. Dipping it gives it a little more looseness and movement.
Telling me you need me, but I'm from a city that's high school. I give them this anymore, I go. Cause you a bad money, she don't love money. She break grass real fast like Conman. When I swim down to the deep end, wanna know all my secrets, honestly. Can you keep it real? Cause honestly, I can tell that you're real fond of me.
So now I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to add the curly hair. I'm just tying one side out of the way and then getting another small section out of the way so that I can crochet in the curly hair. As you can see, I didn't want to drag this on camera, y'all, so I already did most of the braids on this side, and I just want to show you a couple braids. So I'm just hooking that crochet needle in like a small portion of the braid, adding that curly hair. I'm gonna show you again. And as you can see, the way the braid is laying, I want to add it to the back side of the braid. So I put that little crochet needle through a small piece of the braid and then add the curly hair and tie a little double knot, and good to hook. Super easy. You'll also notice that I'm adding the curly hair towards the top portion of the braid as well. So then I decided to take it a step further by adding some more curly hair, only in the front, to the base of the braids, just to give it a more curlier effect, a more fuller effect, because it didn't look as full as I would like it. And I did this to all of the braids in the front half. I didn't do this to any of the braids in the back because I can't see and I didn't feel like trying to get my 3-way mirror back out. So I only did it to the front. So once I finished adding all of the curly hair, I went ahead and added this Vigorol Olive Oil Mega Moisture Mousse all over the braids and the curly hair. Just kind of saturated it into that mousse just to make sure those curls are nicely defined and everything is basically set in place. Now for more time reference, as I mentioned, it took me about 4 hours to do the back. It took me about 2 hours to do one side and then another 45 minutes to do the other side and add the curls and dip the hair. So this is the final result, you guys, and I'm super happy with the outcome. I love these Boho Goddess box braids that I was able to accomplish myself. I was also able to save myself a couple $100, and I saved myself a little time. Although it took 6 to 7 hours, that time was broken up in the comfort of my own home. I didn't have to sit in nobody's chair for that long, for those straight hours. So, you know, that's definitely a win-win for me, honey. Now, this is my very first time braiding my own hair, and I am quite pleased. And braiding my entire head at that. So, I love the outcome. I would actually do it again. It wasn't too bad at all. Again, it took me a total of about 6 to 7 hours. So, you know, it wasn't that bad. Again, I will list all of the products that I use down in the description box below. So, please feel free to check it out if you're interested. I do thank you all so much for rocking with me today. I always appreciate it. You already know that. I will be sure to catch you all in the next video. Bye, y'all.